Hey World Civilization students, Mr. Lassiter here with you. And in this video, I'm not going to really teach you anything new content-wise. But what I am going to spend some time on is some skills that might help you do a little bit better on your content assessments. Let me tell you where this idea comes from for this video. First of all, a lot of you have been seeing things like this on your assessments. 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4 out of 10. It's in that sad little red area. Some of you have been seeing a lot of these 5 or 6 out of 10, these orange numbers popping up when you get done. And some of you have got that dreaded 7 out of 10 where you're so close to passing. And then occasionally you wait a week and you rewatch the videos and you go back down to 5 or 6 out of 10, or heaven forbid, back down low. Our goal is to get you to success on each one of these, 8, 9, or the perfect 10 out of 10. In order to do so, I really want to talk to you about some of the study habits that you should have or should be trying to build for this class. A lot of times when I ask students, what did you do to prepare differently for your content assessment, I hear this answer. I went back and rewatched the videos, or I went back and I watched a different video, or I didn't do anything, I just thought I might pass it again. And that's not really studying. Watching the videos gets you the notes the first time around, but rewatching them isn't necessarily studying. It's still sort of a passive activity. So we're going to talk to you about the activities that you can do or things that you can do in order to be successful in studying. So it begins with your notes. I have a handy little drawing here. Good notes forms the foundation for building your understanding of any content in this class. And good study habits will form a good base for building you up to passing these assessments. So let's start off with our notes. What I have noticed is that a lot of people are not using our trusty World Civilizations video notes template. And guys, I really think that this might be an area where this might be a reason why we're struggling. In this, the only requirements are video goals questions and coming up with questions of your own, but there's a lot of room here for extra vocabulary, for your notes, and it is very well organized. All right, so really, I cannot stress enough how important it is to be able to use these notes. Sometimes when I've looked through some notes with you, I find it hard to follow notes in notebooks if they're not put in this format. And so I think if I'm having trouble as your teacher, then you might also. So please use that video notes template. So notes are the foundation, of course, but good study habits are what I want to talk about for the remainder of this video. Let's talk about a few of those study habits. First of all, a quiet location. That's what you're really going to need to study for your assessments. That's why during PLT, during seminar, we ask for quiet. Number 2, music. People love to listen to music. I like to listen to music while I study. But can you handle it? That's a question you need to ask yourself. Sometimes we listen to music and it can be distracting. I like to listen to quiet, non-distracting music. Maybe some music I know very well, so I think of it kind of goes in the background. Not music that I'm going to sing along to or that's going to be modern day pop music. That usually doesn't do well as far as studying. And then lastly, just don't watch TV. You can't be watching TV or YouTube videos while you're studying. That's splitting your attention, and therefore it's harming what you're doing in class. So those are 3 of the big study habits. As far as what to study or how to study, I'm going to say it again. Number 1, notes, and use our template. We made it for a reason. We're finding very good success with people using this template. All right, if you want to take notes on your own and in your notebook, I highly encourage you to put them in the same format as our template. But let's say you're still having a little bit of difficulty. You've gone back, you've taken this assessment maybe 3 times, and you keep looking back at your notes and it's just not clicking. You're not remembering this material. Well, sometimes that might be related to vocabulary. And for vocabulary, I recommend flashcards and making flashcards. And believe me, they are not as difficult to make as you might think. For example, here I've made a series of 4 flashcards for our Intro to Greece focus area. I have a flashcard. On the front it says Polis. On the back it gives me some information that it's a city-state, that it was the core of Greek civilization, and I have some examples there of what make, or some polises that we saw, Athens, Sparta, and Thebes. Democracy, flip it around. It was ruled by the people. It was invented in Athens, and it was limited in Athens to male citizens. A little bit of information about that vocabulary word. Helot. They outnumbered the Spartans. They were the slaves of the Spartans. It doesn't have to be long, guys, as long as you get the vocabulary. Hoplites and the phalanx. The phalanx was an organizational structure of Greek armies where the hoplites were tightly packed together. The hoplites were the soldiers. They wore light armor. All right. If you can just do simple flashcards like these, the vocabulary will come to you. And you can just quiz yourself. You can quiz yourself on the way to school. You can quiz yourself in between classes. You can quiz yourself at lunch. You can quiz your classmates. So that is one of our other suggestions. Next, comparing and contrasting. A lot of times in this class, we have you look at multiple areas of study. For example, Hinduism and Buddhism, or the different types of Buddhism, or coming up later, Buddhism and Christianity. And you're going to need to compare and contrast that material. And a quick way to do that is with graphic organizers. Mr. Guilford and I made you a couple for examples. For example, a Venn diagram. Just like we did in class with Buddhism and Hinduism, you can make your own. For example, here is a quick Venn diagram showing the similarities and differences between Theravada and Mahayana Buddhism. Now, you may not just be looking at similarities and differences, but you may just want to organize information. What one city-state had versus another city-state, or what one religion has versus another religion. And a simple T-chart can make that happen. Here's one with some basic information on Athens and Sparta. It's not organized as similarities or differences, but what it does for me is give me an idea of what column it goes into. And then when I take my assessment, I have a visual kind of image burned into my head, hopefully, of what's going on in Athens and Sparta. Now, understandably, those take a lot of work, and studying is a lot of work, guys. It's not just rewatching our videos. So what if you still can't remember? Well, I encourage you to do one of the following. Either rewrite your notes, find a study partner, or do one of these last two. Try to answer video goals questions again, especially without your notes. Sometimes going back and seeing if you can answer those is a real good test of whether or not you know the material or not. And you don't have to wait around for the assessment, which most of the questions are based off the video goals questions anyways. And then the last thing that you can do, you don't have to take our assessments to quiz yourself. You can make your own assessment questions. And sometimes your questions actually are harder and better than the ones we come up with. So I encourage you, try to answer those video goals questions again. Do them without your notes. And go back to your notes and check yourself. Make your own questions, and you can do them on flashcards as well. And if you need to, rewrite your notes or find a study partner. I think one of these methods will help you in getting from those 0s through 5s, the 6s and the 7s, up to your 8, 9, and 10s on your assessments. So again, when you're struggling on these and you need a new way to study, use one of these methods. Let me know if you need any help creating note cards or creating graphic organizers, or what type you might want to do. But again, try some of these and let's see if it helps you out. Hope you have a good day, and good luck on your next Power Focus assessment, guys.